Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. Thank you for joining us today. And if you haven't, just want to encourage you, please take a minute and subscribe to the channel and like the video. We're putting out regular content multiple times every week, so you don't want to miss anything. And so make sure you subscribe so you're notified of all of that. And let's get right into it.
All right, but before we get started, if you have any real estate questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can leave them in the comments below. That'd be great. Sometimes, things are a little bit more detailed that requires a phone call. That would be a much easier avenue. And if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in Victoria, or if you're thinking about moving out here, then please get a hold of us. We'd be happy to help you. But
absolutely.
In this episode, we're talking about the real estate industry. This is good. Sorry, it's clickbait. It's on purpose. Here it is. That's it. The real estate industry is doomed. It's over.
Oh, I saw that.
Realtors.
Yeah.
I'm reading headlines, right?
Yeah.
I do read the rest of the article, I promise. And I read court documents, 90 pages worth of this court document for the lawsuit that I'm going to talk about here.
What we should put with it is this the last hurrah?
This is it. Right. Where's my bat phone?
Right. For those of you that don't know, that maybe you're not. I was a kid, but the old Batman TV series, they were all in reruns when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s. So
yeah.
Is this the last hurrah?
You know what? In some ways, I hope it is. In some ways, I hope it doesn't change, or it won't make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lawsuit. It's already been decided on in Minnesota in the United States. Well, what does a United States lawsuit with some realtors have to do with Canada, or how real estate's done in Canada? Well, there's a similar lawsuit, let's call it a copycat lawsuit, happening in Toronto right now. So the Minnesota lawsuit, this is the exciting part. The plaintiff has alleged that the defendants, so the defendants are the National Association of Real Estate Realtors, that's what it is, and some big franchise companies, real estate companies, they're in Minnesota. Great, so those are all the defendants, and they alleged, and they've been found guilty of collusion of prices, price fixing. So this is an anti-competitive behavior, and specifically in the respect of how much a buyer's agent gets paid by the listing agent. I said that very much on purpose. Okay. So when you enter into a listing agreement, and I think across North America they're probably fairly similar.
Okay.
There might be some other business models, but let's say the most common business model is you seek services from a real estate agent that will list your home, and you're going to pay that real estate agent a listing fee. That's the fee they charge you for the services. And from that fee, there's not an additional fee. The realtor, with their marketing plan, offers a cooperating commission amount to the buyer's agent that's out there, and if the realtor so happens to sell the home themselves, now we can talk about we're not allowed to dual agency, meaning representing both parties.
In BC,
some provinces, states, there's too many to say it's not going to be the same rules everywhere.
Right.
Okay, fine. But if for the chance that the listing agent attracts the buyer directly themselves and they facilitate the agreement to purchase the home, the listing agent retains the entire amount of the fee that they're charging. So they're alleging that The plaintiff is alleging that the cooperating commission, the amount offered by the listing agent to another buyer's agent to attract the buyer,
Okay.
hey, come look at this house, come look at this property, to pay them. So they have a problem with that. They say that's price fixing. They say
By
the plaintiff,
advertising to what the buyer's agent is going to, presumably, if they get the deal done, get paid?
yes.
Okay.
I know I said that in a convoluted way, maybe, because I'm trying to put it in the perspective of what the plaintiff is alleging there in Minnesota.
Okay.
So this is happening also in Canada. So the damages of the case is done, the plaintiff won, and it's National Association of Realtors is appealing the verdict. The verdict's out. It's $1.7 billion in damages.
To the individual? Who's getting paid those damages?
Well, there's like hundreds of thousands of people that are signed on to this class action lawsuit. So
Okay.
by the time you break down how much those people might receive, it's like $2,500.
Okay.
So however, you do the math.
Sure.
This could be inflated up to $5 billion. Who's paying for that? That would be coming out of the real estate companies.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say those real estate companies make too much money, all of those things. I'm not here to talk about that. You can leave it all the comments leave it in the comments below that realtors get paid too much money. That's awesome. This is not facetious. This is not patronizing. This is not nothing against people. You think it's easy? Go ahead and try it. You want to see that's it.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it one day, because somebody sent me something which was a breakdown of the cost of being a realtor and how much you actually, for the time spent, how much you actually bring home.
Yeah, and we could go into that.
We can go into that one day, but it's
One
not
day.
really what we're talking
That's
about.
not what we're
here.
talking about. That's totally
And,
fine.
And I think, just want to reiterate, we all have opinions, and maybe you have opinions that you want to express in the comments, but we understand just the whole area of common courtesy when you're putting in comments. Okay.
Yeah. Be kind, right? Yeah, you can definitely disagree with us. It's totally cool, and that's great. So let's say, what happens to cooperating agents now? You're a real estate agent. We help people buy properties, and the argument now, after reading the Canadian, I didn't bother reading all of the details of the American one, because the Canadian one might and could affect all of real estate across Canada over time. It could take years before this is resolved.
Sure.
So the idea of the allegation of price fixing towards the buyer's agent's cooperating commission amount. Okay, great. So the argument was that the seller, the client, is unable to negotiate the buyer's commission. They want the buyer's commission paid by the buyer, and then allow the real estate agent to negotiate their fee, their commission amount, with the buyer directly. This is one of the only industries out of all of the commercial activities out there that the buyer's agent, if it's a commercial aspect, whatever, is compensated by the person selling, the opposite party, by the seller's party. So it's very unusual. But the thing is, it's worked for over 100 years, the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're going to buy your $1 million house, and you have to pay the agent. This is a random number. I'm going to just round it off. This is, I'm not claiming that that's what it costs. Let's say $15,000, $20,000, whatever it's going to be, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you can't mortgage that amount.
That's right.
You're the buyer.
Yeah.
That's going to be a check that you're going to cut. Where is that going to come from? That might come from your rainy day fund.
Sure.
The amount that you're putting on your down payment. So you're going to have less of a down payment.
Yeah.
Or that comes out of your vacation fund. Whatever the case may be. So, how many people will start going to the seller directly? No, I'm fine. I can take care of myself. I'll go straight to the seller. I'm going to save $15,000. I'm going to save $20,000 if I just go to the seller directly.
Sure. So you're coming to me. I'm the agent.
You're the seller.
I'm
the seller's agent.
I'm the seller's agent. You
Yep.
come to me. I'm going to say, sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm going to negotiate on best terms for my client.
The seller, yes.
Yeah. And then I'm going to say, submit the offer.
So, okay, fine.
And please use this form.
Right. And that's the end of it.
And that's it.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the unintended consequences.
And
I'm
the
not-
unintended can I just give you one right up front?
Go for it, yeah.
Is if you misrepresent you as the other buyer without representation, if you do anything incorrectly on that contract, and if it benefits my seller, I'm not going to tell you.
Right, because it's a clear distinction that the seller's agent is working on behalf of the seller.
Right, and I have a
And that's
legal.
it.
So we all understand. If I'm acting for the seller or whoever my client is, I have a legal obligation to act in the best interest of my client. And I'm not doing anything illegal or anything, but I'm saying if somebody has put something in, let's say they wrote into the contract that the deposit gets paid when the offer gets written,
Yeah, okay.
right? As an example, I'm going to expect then that that's what's going to happen.
Right. And if it doesn't, that's a whole breach of contract, and that's a whole other ballgame, right?
Yeah.
But you're there for your client's best interest,
That's right.
period. You're not
Yeah.
there to represent an unrepresented person.
That's correct.
In any such way,
Right.
form, or manner, right? Okay, fine. Okay, so let's say this, and we get harped on so much for like consumer protection. Now, I'm thinking of the unintended. I'm all about consumer protection.
Absolutely.
That's the whole. I think that's the whole definition of having a realtor.
Yeah.
We are here to protect people, buyers and sellers, from. Sometimes it's like that 1% chance of making that mistake, that something will happen, and then we put in a legal clause or a way to like protect people from that one thing that might happen.
Yeah.
We can't predict everything, but we're here to help people that way. Okay, fine. So moving on. Let's say this ends up being a boost. Like, let's say 50% of the transactions are unrepresented now.
Okay.
You're a first-time home buyer, or this is all the money you have. This is what I can afford. You know what? I can save. As the lower the price point is, it's less money to pay for your buyer's agent. But you know what? It's always a lot of money. Doesn't matter what price range you're in, like for the client.
Sure.
So let's do a little quick history lesson. So our real estate system comes from the English system, and it comes from tort law. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not a lawyer. I learned this like 21 years ago.
I was going to say, I learned this like 10, 11 years ago
Yeah,
now.
I learned it like 21 years
yeah.
ago. So if you go to England, you go to Britain somewhere, and you want to go look at properties, check this out. So they don't have an MLS system there. You have to go to like whatever the franchise or the business, and whatever listings they have in the window or on the books, on their website, are the only ones they will show you. They represent the seller only, and they only show their product.
Right.
I'm sorry I'm calling houses product, but that's what it is in that case.
Yeah.
So you have no representation as a buyer coming in, and you're just like at a store.
Yep.
Like it's like a consignment sale.
Sure.
For houses.
Yeah.
And so, do we want to go back in that direction in Canada? I really hope it doesn't do that.
I don't think
If it is, we will adapt. That will be the new
Sure.
business model. Fine. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, but I don't think it's in the best interest of the buyer.
Of consumers altogether.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I think that is the biggest unintended consequence. People will not shell out X amount of thousands of dollars. Okay, fine. So if that's not going to work, if you want the services of a realtor, so the listing agents will open up all the doors for their own listings,
Okay.
right? Because are you going to start paying a realtor $100 an hour to go show properties? Sometimes a client might look around in a house, ponder it, tell you how much they want to renovate it or tear down this wall or something like that, or discuss, and you're going to pay $100 for that?
Probably not.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But like what business what business model is going to work in whatever the new thing is going to happen. Now, this might not happen, if you're holding your breath and you're saying, oh yeah, these realtors, they're forcing prices to go up with their huge commissions. Like, you know what? We're just another contractor in the system.
Sure. And they're not huge commissions either, by the way.
Well, that's what the public perception.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I understand the public perception, but there's a whole different business model that goes with that commission, which includes taxes, which includes all the fees for the board, all the fees for whatever association you belong to, which includes all of your costs to list that property if you're listing it. So photos, floor plans, videos, online advertising, wherever else you're advertising, print material, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not as simple as saying, oh, look at that big number. When you pare it down, it's, well, like I said, we'll do it.
You could keep going on that one, right?
We're not doing that today, but maybe one day we will. It's, I think there's a bigger part of this, which is the potential to affect, like you said, just consumer confidence. Now, you were going to buy a house and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, even if like you haven't bought a house for 10 years, the rules change. I'm exaggerating. Every week, no, every year our forms are different. New rules come up.
Well,
and we cover them on our videos.
Yeah, but an example would be, for example, every year or you have to do this every 2 years, but let's say every year we're taking some kind of legal update, which is like
we have to take a handful of courses.
But the legal update itself, which is just on the legality of what's happening right now for this year, as of last year, and everything else. What is that? A couple of days? 3 days? I think the legal update is 3 days. So
I'm traumatized from it, so I can't remember how many days.
But the point is, you have buyers that are walking in uninformed about what the situations are in terms of expectations legally and requirements and the different changes of rules and all of these things.
So many times I've had clients I'm listing their house. They may have bought privately before, and then I come in there and be like, oh, I need to do this, and this, and before listing, and they're like, what? What are you talking about? I didn't know about all these costs. We bought it off at da-da-da. They start telling me a story. I'm like, oh, yeah, those things should have been done beforehand, before you bought it.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, but this is where we are now. This is the situation, reality.
Sure.
Okay, this is what it's going to cost to move on, and that could have saved people money just by getting representation.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're getting a good deal, but then there's things that are missed that are going to cost you later.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. So if the way the real estate industry changes, would this mean, we've been both in for a long time, would this mean a lot of people would get out of the real estate industry because they think oh, it's all easy money, and we lose around 200 on an average year. We lose 200 realtors. Retire, death, move on to other things in life, bankruptcy, divorces, all of the
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot. It's not just sunshine and rainbows, right?
Yeah, and I don't know what the numbers are like right now, but I remember when I was getting my license, so that's 11 years ago now, they said in Vancouver, they had the same number of realtors getting out every month as new realtors coming in every month.
Yeah, and they have way more thousands of people there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's my last thought is how many realtors will get out of the business because the model,
changes.
The model might change.
Yeah, if it changes.
Maybe, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We're going to follow that a little bit. I'm not totally interested in it. I've read all the court documents. If you want to find it, it's 90 pages. Google it. It's in Toronto Real Estate Board and Ontario Real Estate Association and the Canadian Real Estate Association are all as defendants, plus some of the franchises, the big companies over there.
Yeah.
So, if you have any comments about that, or if you know more than I do, reach out to me. I wouldn't mind like learning
Yeah.
a couple of more of
And
those details.
Yeah, I think in the meantime, I think the thing I think is I'm going to continue to do the best I can for my clients, whether they be buyers or sellers.
At the end of the day, right?
That's what we do, right? We're in this to. I tell all of my clients that I've got your back, and I'm happy to help are not cliches for me. So, I think that's what we do. We continue doing that, continue giving the best service and the best that we can, and we don't have any control over how that's going to shake down. But however it does, we'll evolve and adapt.
If this turns into a better way to protect consumers, buyers and sellers, then I'm all for it. I don't see it yet. Sometimes I could see the unintended consequences before they come, and then we're just like we shake our heads when it does happen, right? Home buyer rescission period. So
Vacancy tax.
like yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
But
I think that's all I got for today.
But we digress if we get going over there. So thanks for joining us. Again, if you haven't, please take a minute, subscribe. We appreciate that, and that'll keep you up to date with everything that we're putting out, regular content. We're getting out and doing some vlogs in the neighborhood also as we get close to Christmas. So if there's something you're in somewhere in the greater Victoria area, especially in the West Shore, and you've got something going on that's a great Christmas event you'd like us to come out to, put it in the comments. Let us know. We'll see what we can do to get out there, right?
I love getting out there in the community.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I find it a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. So thank you again for joining us. And remember, same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye.
See ya.